All right, we have the approvals, G-17 disclosure engagement letter, Raymond James and Associates.
Liz, you want to come up to the table, please? Liz Hennessy from Raymond James. Okay, so the Board of Education, I went through this with you in August. When Elizabeth gave her presentation in July, and I believe we used even in June, she was part of William Blair. William Blair, shortly after our July board meeting, closed their department on municipal bond sales. And so Liz was moving over to Raymond James and Associates, and we discussed this in August with the board that we'd like to continue to work with Ms. Hennessy and her team under Raymond James. At that August board meeting, I touched on the G-17. So what the G-17 is, it's a disclosure and engagement letter. It basically says Liz Hennessy will serve as our underwriter for our bond purchases. And what this underwriter does is provides us scheduling, debt service schedule, and our options. And by signing this agreement, it's...
Say that again. What's the underwriter going to do for us?
The three things, go ahead, Liz, the three primary responsibilities.
We advise the board on structure, timing, terms of the options you're considering, including the refunding and the life-saving and cash. We then underwrite the bonds, bring them to market, work with you, the rating agency. All that can be done as underwriter. So it's the G-17.
Can you stop at the first part? What do you advise us on?
The structure, timing, and terms of any debt issues you're considering.
Can you help us out then? Because I had a long conversation with Dr. Skinkis about this, and apparently we approved this while I was on the board with your last one, but now that we're issuing it as, your letter specifically says that you aren't a financial advisor and that you're not acting in our best interest and that we should consider having our own financial advisor.
Yes, that is the letter that we need to send you to advise you that there could be a conflict of interest when issuing the bonds as underwriter if we because the underwriter, like all other parties, are paid based on the size. So they're talking about the conflict of interest if we encourage you to issue more bonds than you otherwise would. That could be a conflict of interest. But these are the standard things we're required to disclose to you per the SEC's Rule G-17. So we are not acting in the role of an independent municipal advisor, although we could take that role, which would be different than you'd have to hire a separate underwriter. This is how we've worked with the district in the past. And as underwriter, we have the ability to give you advice. It's just we're telling you through this G-17, we are not a municipal advisor, and if you wish to, you certainly have the ability and the right to go ahead and hire a separate municipal advisor, get a separate second opinion on the information that I've provided in this role as underwriter.
And the fees that Raymond James charges as part of their underwriter, Scott has reported out and put, I think, in the background she as well, are lower than what the fee structure was under William Blair.
Correct.
Explain that to us. That doesn't help.
Well,
It was this, it is this, and it's how much?
it's, yeah, it was, I believe, $6.50 per thousand of bonds sold at William Blair. And at Raymond James, we're proposing $6.35 per thousand of bonds sold. That's typically the way the fee is charged. So it's lower at Raymond James.
And how much, if we issue $5 million in bonds, how much is that?
So that's,
You want a calculator, Liz?
yeah, I gotta do it, because I'll screw it up, you know.
Scott's got it. He's the numbers guy.
Kevin, may I ask you this? Is this different from William Blair in terms of this first issue we just discussed?
This is the same exact agreement we were under with William Blair. We just have to now do it for Raymond James.
So for a $5 million bond issue times $6.35 per bond. That equates to a fee of $31,750.
And I also asked Dr. Skinkis, there's an exception under the state contracting where we don't have to send out for bids hiring you as a
Because it's a
bond.
professional service, yes.
Professional service
Professional
requirement, I
service.
did verify with district legal counsel today that this is not subject to bid. Just is no different than like when we pick a district attorney, or if our district attorney that the board had a relationship with moved to a different firm. It's a level of expertise that's considered exempt. So before we go, the reason this is placed on where it is in the agenda is so that before we get into our discussion tonight on the life safety bonds and the taxable working cash bonds, we formally approved our G-17 so that Liz is formally serving as our underwriter. There was not, I don't know if you all recall this on August when I explained it, but once she signed with Raymond James on the Monday before the board meeting, so the board had no time to see the G-17, so I told you that this would be on there as a, we'd have to approve this in August.
Resolved that the Board of Education Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves the Raymond James and Associate Inc. G-17 disclosure and engagement letter to act as the district's bond underwriter as presented in the September 12, 2017 board agenda packet.
Second. Do we have any discussion left? On the right? Go for the vote.
Ms. Towner? Yes. Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Jessica?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Sierra?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Thank you.